Today I'm sharing my melt-in-your-mouth chocolate chip Snowball cookies, a holiday favorite on our cookie platter. They're easy to make, beautiful to look at, and absolutely divine to eat. These buttery cookies are mixed with powdered sugar for the perfect structure and chewiness. Studded with chocolate chips and coated twice in powdered sugar after baking. A total showstopper. Think of them like the powdered sugar donuts you couldn't resist as a kid, or at least I couldn't. Grab a plate because you're gonna want a few, maybe more. Let's dive into the recipe. For the ingredients, you'll need butter, powdered sugar, granulated sugar, egg, vanilla extract, all-purpose flour, salt if using unsalted butter, and chocolate chips or chopped chocolate bar. To a large bowl, we're going to add 1 cup, which is 227 grams or 8 ounces of softened butter. Then add a half a cup or 60 grams of powdered sugar. This will keep the cookies chewy, giving you that melt in your mouth softness. And add 1/4 cup, which is 50 grams of granulated sugar to create structure, no crumb, and to encourage caramelization on the outside. In my granulated sugar mix that I just put in there, I have 2 packages of vanilla sugar, but you can just use regular sugar here and add vanilla with the egg. Now you want to use an electric mixer, or you can whisk by hand and mix this until light and fluffy. Now add 1 large egg and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract. Since I use vanilla sugar, I am not adding additional vanilla here. Then mix again until fully incorporated. In a small bowl, you want to add 2 1/4 cups, which is 270 grams of all-purpose flour. If you're using unsalted butter, you're going to add ½ teaspoon of salt, which is 3 grams. I am using salted butter, so I'm not adding salt to my flour. But if you are, just give your salt and your flour a good mix. And you're gradually going to add your flour to your butter mixture in batches to give the butter time to soak into the flour. And you're not going to mix it very much. Just do it till it's a little bit incorporated. And then you're going to add some more flour. About 3 batches is good enough. Again, just give it a quick little stir. Notice I still have flour that is not mixed in, but go ahead and add that last bit of flour. And just a quick mix, just to incorporate it, but not over mixing it. To the dough, we're going to add 3/4 cup, which is 120 grams of chocolate chips, or you can use chopped chocolate, which is what I'm using here. Then just fold the chips into the dough. Okay, notice your dough should still be soft. That's the texture you're looking for. So now you have options. You'll want to chill the dough for as little as 10 to 15 minutes to firm it up, keeping the dough from spreading too much in the oven since they are chock full of butter. Or you can make the dough several days before and simply store it in the fridge. So at this time, we're going to cover the bowl, stick it in the fridge for a minimum of 10 minutes. When you're ready to bake the cookies, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Then you're going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Here's a little trick. If you want to get your parchment paper to stick to the baking sheet, just put a dollop of cookie dough right on the edge and it will stay. 1 in each corner. Now I put my cookie dough in a different bowl because I wanted to save space in my fridge. But you're going to pull out whether you had your cookie dough for 10 to 15 minutes in the fridge minimum or up to 2 days. You want to scoop out about a walnut size tablespoon, if you will, of cookie dough. Here's a tablespoon here if I want to verify. Okay. Roll it in a ball. And for each cookie ball, you want to roll it and place it 2 inches apart on your parchment paper. Now these cookies will spread some because they do have butter in them, and butter is a good fat for spreading in the oven. But because we had these in the fridge, they're not going to be flat cookies. They're just going to have a little bit of a dome, but they'll look like a cookie. My first batch of cookies is ready for the oven. So we're going to bake between 12 and 15 minutes. You want to aim for the lower end, 12 to 13. You're looking for the edges to be set and the tops will stay pale. And then for extra soft centers, aim for that lower end of the time range. So about 12 to 13 minutes. Our cookies have just come out of the oven. They baked for 12 minutes. Notice how pale they are on the tops and the sides, but they are set and they're pretty firm and sturdy all around the tops and the sides. So they do not have much color, but we're about to coat them in powdered sugar. We're gonna let them cool in the pan for just 2 to 5 minutes. They need to be warm when we cover them in our first coating of powdered sugar. So in the meantime, while these are cooling for a few minutes, you want to add about a cup of powdered sugar to a quart or gallon size zip top bag. This is where we're gonna put the cookies and shake them so that they can get that pretty white coating. Cookies are still warm, but notice even when you pick them up and look at the bottoms, they're not really brown on the bottoms, just a little bit, but I want my cookies to be soft in the center. And because they are sturdy cookies, we won't have any problems coating them in a bag of powdered sugar. So you can place 3 to 4 in your bag, seal it up, and then do a gentle shake. This is our initial coating of powdered sugar. Don't worry about the cookies falling apart. They won't, because they are very sturdy. They will stay together. So again, this is our first coating of powdered sugar. So do one simple coating, then remove them from the bag one by one and place them on a wire rack to cool. And once they've cooled completely, then we'll add a second dredging of powdered sugar, and that will make them look really covered and in total white. This is just a simple base coating for now. This first dredge of coating, because these cookies are warm, the coating will stick to the cookies, but the cookies will also absorb some of the powdered sugar, so that's why we'll need to do a second coating. Our first batch of cookies have been coated in powdered sugar for the first round of powdered sugar. We're gonna let them cool completely, and in the meantime, we're gonna make a second batch of cookies, and then once all of our cookies have cooled, then we'll do another batch of sugar coating. Now that the cookies have cooled completely, notice that some of the powdered sugar from our initial coating absorbed some in the cookie, but that's the base powdered sugar. So now that they're completely cooled, we're gonna add another layer of powdered sugar just to ensure that they have that frosted look that we want, so that it's a snowy finish. And you're just gonna do the same thing as before. Just give them a good, gentle shake in the powdered sugar bag. And now that they've completely cooled, the sugar will stay on. This should not absorb anymore, particularly since the base coat is there. Any absorption happens, it's going to be the base coat, not the top coat. Now take a look at that. A lot more powdered sugar on them. Notice how pretty they look after adding that extra layer of powdered sugar. Now, I don't know what says winter more than this. So let's take a closer look at one of these. Okay, now is the time that you can put them on a serving platter, or you can package them up and give them away as gifts. All right, so even though they're dotted with chocolate chips, you don't see much chocolate on the outside. It really is all powdered sugar to resemble the snow. So if we break into one, notice how soft that is. So you can get a close-up look of the inside. They're going to be soft and chewy. You can see chocolate dotted throughout. Now what's interesting about this is that since I used chopped chocolate, you can see some of the little chocolate pieces in, but then you can also see some of the bigger chunks that were cut. And you of course can see that layer of powdered sugar on the outside. Now if you want a drier cookie, just cook these for another minute or two. But right now they're soft and moist and they're chewy, so they're not going to crumble at all. They're going to hold their shape easily. So the cookies have plenty of structure. They are soft and far from being crumbly. The exterior layer is just gorgeous to look at, and they will taste amazing with the chocolate and simple cookie base on the inside. Let's take a bite. I probably have powdered sugar all over my face now. These cookies are heavenly to me. I just love a soft cookie covered in powdered sugar. This screams holidays or a Saturday morning in the 80s watching cartoons. Regardless, the cookie base is buttery, the texture is chewy, the powdered sugar adds flavor, sweetness, and texture. I could eat a few more of these. I really love these cookies. They are a total holiday cookie platter must. Why not bag these little guys, attach a bow, and give them away as gifts during the holidays? Who wouldn't want a bag of these? I certainly would. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Until next time, bake a batch of chocolate chip Snowball cookies for this holiday season and go bake the world.